Alright guys, welcome to Lab 3. I made this video for some of you so that I could go through Lab 3 step by step. Even if you see this video, for some of you guys that still didn't get a 5 for Lab 3, I still need to meet with you in your groups. We'll do that after the exam. Now, I'm sure we all remember Lab 3. Basically what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a signal. Well, first, let's start off with step number one, we wanted to identify all the stocks that are in the same industry as Apple. All right. Okay, that's step number one. Step number two was we wanted to calculate the intra-month return for all those stocks. In the month of December of 2016. All right. Shout out to Bender and Kevin on that one. Now, after we get that, our step number 3 is to create 2 portfolios where portfolio 1 is the top 5 stocks and what I mean by top 5 stocks, I mean the stocks that have the highest intra-month return for December 2016. And portfolio 2 is the lowest 5 stocks. And again, by lowest 5 stocks, I mean the 5 stocks with the lowest intra-month return for December 2016. Okay? Once we do that, then we want to essentially backtest how those 2 portfolios did from the time period of beginning of the year of 2017 to, I believe it was February 5th of 2018. Okay? And those are essentially the 4 steps of Lab 3, right? So let's just get into it. I'm going to first load up my QuantMod library. Okay? And I got that. Now we want to do step 1. All right? Step 1 is already listed above, but now we're going to knock out step 1. And to do step 1 is we need to use that function I talked about, stock symbols, right here. Okay? Now what stock symbols does is it basically just gets you a list of all the possible public stocks out there in America. Now it's not exhaustive by any means, but it does get a lot of them. All right? And when we run line number 8, you can see down here in my console, right below, we're fetching data from Amex, the American Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, the Electronic Exchange, and New York Stock Exchange, right? Essentially, they're all electronic exchanges now, but these were the 3 big stock exchanges in the U.S., right? Now, what happens is S has become a data frame, okay? It's a data frame. It's a table. If in my console I run down here, if I run head S, you see that essentially you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 columns, right? And we have tickers, we have the name of the company, we have the last sale of the company, we have the market cap, the IPO year, the sector, the industry, and exchange. Now what we want is we want both the symbol column and the industry column. We first want to figure out which industry. We know what industry Apple is in, but just for the sake of making this program more robust. We could do more analysis on more different industries and different stocks in those various different industries. We want to get the industry for Apple, okay? And the way we do that is we filter through the data frame. And what do we use to filter through the data frame? We use the subset function. So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a subset of the S table, which is going to have just one row, and that row is going to be the Apple row, right, wherever the symbol is Apple. So the way I use subset, it takes 3 parameters. Well, it can't take 3 parameters, but it allows you to just take 2. The first parameter is the data frame that I want to filter. That's S. The second parameter is the column that I want to filter, and basically what values that I want to filter in that column. This is similar to when you're using an Excel sheet and you use the drop down when you filter through columns in Excel sheets, right? It's the same concept. It's the same concept. It's exactly the same as filtering columns in an Excel sheet. So here in this case, because I want to get first all the information for Apple so I can hunt down its industry, I'm going to choose the data frame and choose the column. Whenever we want a column of a data frame, we have to use the dollar symbol. That's the syntax in R. So in this case, S being the data frame, dollar being, let me choose a column, and obviously the first column right there, that's the one I want. I want symbol. I want all the rows where the symbol column has this value, AAPL, all caps. And obviously AAPL is the ticker for Apple. I run this line, and just down below in my console, you can see it down here. Boom. AAPL-DF, or Apple DF, is now a table with just one row and 8 columns. But that row has all the information for Apple. Now, what do we want from this table, this small table we created? We want the industry column. And how do we get that? Very simple. CM now is just going to be a variable name. This could be anything you want. It's going to be Jon Snow for all I care, if you wanted it to be, right? But just so you guys understand, I'm just going to use CM for computer manufacturing because that's the industry that Apple's in. And I simply take this small table I created and I choose the column I want, and I want industry. And we're going to get back one value. And we're going to get one value because there's only one row in this table, Apple DF. I run this and look down here again, and you will see that when I return CM, I get computer manufacturing. Bam, the industry for that Apple belongs to. Now, I have my industry. I now need to create another subset table for all the stocks that are in that industry. So I'm going to go back and use the table from line 8, the S table, the master table that we created with the stock symbols command. And I'm not going to go back and filter it. But now, instead of filtering the symbol column, I'm filtering the industry column, because now I want all the tickers that are in the industry column of computer manufacturing. And again, just like line 9, in fact, I'm just going to copy it, right? So I'm going to copy it right here. Give it a different name. This time I'll call it the CMDF, computer manufacturing data frame. And instead of the symbol column, what do I want to filter? I want to filter again, I could just press dollar here and let me choose. I want to filter the industry column. And I'm not filtering the industry column for values of Apple, I'm filtering the industry column for computer manufacturing. Now here, I could have just wrote, in quotes, computer manufacturing, but I didn't need to do that because the CM value has the alphanumeric value of computer manufacturing, right? And that's how we made our code a little more dynamic. I run this in line 11, and down here I go to my console. Let me show you what we have. Boom. We now have a subset of the table, right? But if you look at the industry, like here, look at all the tickers. In the symbol column, we have all the tickers we want, and we verify that by looking at the industry column and seeing that we only have computer manufacturing. That's exactly what we want, people. Now, from here, just like in line 10, how do I get all the tickers which are in the symbol column into a vector for me to use for the rest of my code? We use a dollar symbol just like we did in line 10. So now I'm going to create a vector called tick, and again, tick is just a